Hello, travelers. Welcome to the Copper Fox Inn. Come on in, take a seat, and join us as we discuss Homebrew for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. My name is Thomas the Human Bard, and I am joined today by...
Mercy, the Tiefling Wizard!
Onog, the half-orc barbarian.
And Bean, the rock gnome rogue.
Mercy, are you feeling particularly...
I just thought I deserved the hype.
I thought that you hadn't, fixed that stutter that you have.
See, I thought it was really weird. For a second, you said, Mercy, and I thought it was just three voices all talking at once, which, interestingly enough, ties into something that I found the other day.
Oh.
Yeah, I was at this other tavern, and
Great segue,
I met an interesting fella who, he was a fighter. He seemed to be a pretty experienced fighter. Mm-hmm. But I had a sneaking suspicion that I think he was just three halflings in a trench coat. A fighter archetype that I've brought today that I wanted to share with all of you.
It's a fighter archetype? That's not a player race?
No, it's a subclass.
What?
But I think one thing that's important for our listeners to know is, we share our content with each other on a Facebook chat, and we did not receive it until he said the words, three halflings in a trench coat, and then we all got the message that was the sheet. So it's beautiful.
Wait, so this is a subclass, that means that I could have a different race?
We'll get there. We'll talk about it. This is from the subreddit r/DND by user Sir_Platinum. And Sir Platinum, I want to say I'm very impressed with the work you've done here. It's wonderful. There is, Sir Platinum credits a couple of other creators with feedback that they've received in the creation process. And so I'll have the Reddit link in the description. You can go check that out if you're interested. But let's talk about this. Let's read the flavor text here. Disgruntled about the constant short jokes and jabs, three brave halflings decide to turn the tables on the tall folk, armed with a trench coat and balance. These halflings are ready to change their destiny.
Good for them.
Mm-hmm. So, we start off a little strangely for a fighter subclass, a fighter archetype. Normally, you take that at 3rd level. The path of the three halflings in a trench coat is known only to a select few. And lesser still have the courage and will to follow it. You must choose this path from 1st level instead of 3rd.
Okay.
You cannot...
You don't become three people.
You are not a dragonborn who becomes three halflings in a trench coat. You are three halflings in a trench coat from level 1, but I believe you still can be a dragonborn who from level 1 is three halflings in a trench coat.
I want to
So
add
you're
it to
just
the
three
reincarnation
halflings.
table.
You're three halflings pretending to be a dragonborn.
Yeah.
I believe so. But you do get
For
the
3
mechanical
levels.
benefits of it. Yes.
And they are so good that, they could have acid breath if they wanted to. That's how good they are.
So
The
obviously,
top guy's method acting.
So obviously there's a very strange, you're correct, the mechanics of this really don't track, but if you just go with me on this, play with me in this space, it is worth it, the payoff is great, I promise you. All is one. You devote your life to the path. There is no place for individualism. The ones who follow this path eat as one, sleep as one, and die as one. The path makes not a unit, squad, or rabble. The path makes one ultimate fighter. All the halflings are considered as a single creature for the purpose of health and damage taken. Any status effect applied to one halfling are applied to the rest as well. The health pool is the same as a standard fighter's HP, and any damage taken to any halfling is subtracted from the pool, like normal. All halflings wear the same kind of armor. AC does not stack. You gain +1 to AC.
It's interesting. There's actually a lot of debate among the religions of the Forgotten Realms. If the three are one,
And
literally,
the one are three.
or
And I think that's a fair point to bring up. Is this...
I think they're one in substance and in nature.
Is seeing three halflings in a trench coat the same as seeing the face of God? I think is the question we have to ask
If
ourselves.
I've seen one of the halflings, have I seen all of the halflings?
I believe so. Secrets of the Teeny Tiny. This path would be far too powerful if unleashed upon the world. You must remain clandestine and hide your true nature to all but your most trusted, so that when the time comes, you may strike true. You can only wield light melee weapons, as they can be easily concealed. You cannot wield a shield.
So you still have some of the restrictions of being small.
Yes. Sort of. It's
You would have
very
such
weird.
short arms for your height.
Correct. Don't worry too much.
It's a T-Rex situation.
Have you guys seen the Eric Andre where he's going in to buy a car? I'm ready to purchase right now, and he's just got a very long trench coat. The arm to leg proportions are so uncanny, and I feel like you'd have to embrace that here. The price of power. Your dexterity is focused on keeping balance. All dexterity checks or saves have disadvantage.
Oh no.
You cannot add a proficiency bonus to any dexterity skills. Finesse weapons cannot use their dex properties. Medium armor receives no bonus from dexterity. Your movement speed is decreased by 5 feet. You are literally like a toddler.
You're the worst fighter.
Yeah, you're very bad. You're like a toddler leaning, and all of a sudden you're too top heavy, and you're like, whoa.
I thought they were gonna have advantage on dexterity.
No, it's precarious to say the least. But there are some benefits. There are some upsides to this, okay? Power of 6 arms. Your fighter makes 3 attacks instead of 1. 1 for each halfling.
Yes.
This stacks multiplicatively with extra attack.
Oh.
Okay.
And then it says something, I'm not exactly sure on the wording. I would have some clarifications. You can use action surge or haste with this feature as well. I'm not exactly sure what it
I don't
means.
know why it needs to clarify action surge, but I think it's trying to say this ability overrides haste's ruling that you get an extra action that can only be used for 1 attack.
Yeah. Because this...
I think the implication is that it means that if you are hasted, the extra action you gain can be used to make 3
more
But
attacks.
basically what
Correct,
it means
yes.
is you get 1 attack, but each of the halflings
gets one
gets
attack.
an attack. Yeah, it's kind of the multi-attack feature. So it says that with action surge, you could make 12 attacks per turn at 5th level.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Once per short rest.
Yes.
And if
But that is basically an entire round of combat done by you.
anyone watches, just sees 2 little arms poke out and
That's the part I
hit.
love. How are the other guys attacking?
They reach out through pockets and patches of the coat. It's like a tiny hand.
They just hand each other the short sword.
Someone's like, whoa, when you attacked, you're like, I know, I'm that good, it looks like I have a lot of arms. Anyway,
They
don't
were just
ask
moving
questions.
really fast.
Yeah, it looks like I have multiple arms because I'm moving so fast.
They're like, no, dude, you don't move fast. I've seen you.
Open
You're
your
not
coat.
fast.
Open your coat. I'm not gonna get naked if that's what you're
Literally,
implying.
if I breathe on you, you fall over.
And then from just inside the coat, you just hear piss off, and you're like, whoa, what was that? All right, multiform technique.
No.
Starting at 7th level, at the start of your turn, you may choose to take a calculated risk. To split up into 3 halflings and surround an attacker to make an attack.
Yes.
This feature can only be used twice per short rest, and only if there are no hostile witnesses.
What?
You must
So
Wait,
only
what?
only if there's one person and you know they are going to die.
Yeah. Or if everyone in the room is chill, is your friend personally, is your party member. You must resume your base form at the end of your turn. All attacks made against this target have advantage, and you do not suffer the price of power. I don't know what
does that mean?
That's the earlier ability is called the price of power.
Oh, that makes way more sense. Because it wasn't capitalized, so I wasn't thinking it was a previous reference.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Dead.
So I thought...
In life, there is a price to power.
So it's saying you don't
And
have
we
your
all must
disadvantages for that round.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And you can suddenly and that's interesting. And you can suddenly use finesse and dexterity saving throws and whatever.
Because you're not
And your
balanced
movement speed
anymore.
Basically, you're not you're unencumbered by
Yeah.
your other halfling.
By the halfling on your shoulders.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is funny.
All right. Snitches get stitches. Starting at 10th level, any witness to the multiform technique becomes terrified of the consequences of snitching. You can use this feature anywhere. Your secret is safe.
You can't tell.
There is no mechanical means by which this is carried out. They just will never tell your secret. That's what this guarantees.
Which means then that just means you can use the multiform technique whenever you want.
Yeah, it allows you to use it now without worrying about witnesses.
Oh, I see.
So you only have to worry about that weird caveat in that
3
ability
levels.
for 3 levels.
Yeah. I want to get to the final ability so bad. It's so good. Uncanny Valley. Don't yet. Uncanny Valley. At the 15th level, you have mastered the art of balancing 3 people in a trench coat.
Hold on, you have not mastered it before that point?
No, you finally now.
No.
Hey, come on. That's how it works.
Precarious mess.
No, that's how it works. It's like at 15th level as a fighter, you finally master
Alright.
the sword, and it's like,
Okay,
haven't you been
okay.
using a sword for 15th levels? Come on now. Your movements look almost real, but not quite, causing a feeling of unease. You gain advantage on all intimidation checks to anyone who has not seen through your disguise.
Something's wrong with
They're
this
like,
dude.
what is this
Which, if you've
monster?
seen that Eric
Oh
Andre
my God.
video, his intimidation checks were through the roof.
Yeah, they were frightened.
They were very scared of him.
He cast the fears.
Yes.
He caused
He
the
was
fear
also
condition.
like 14 feet tall.
Yes, exactly.
Well, how tall is a halfling in the PHB?
In the PHP, I believe they're like 4 feet, 3 or
Yeah,
4 feet tall.
This is a big boy.
Yeah, this person's like 12 feet tall. Yeah.
Well, you lose your legs, like, because the only legs that exist are the guy on the bottom.
Okay, that's fair. It's like
Oh, so he's only 10 feet tall. That's fine.
Only
That's
10
fine.
feet
Well,
tall.
and I think halflings are also. I think they're a lot shorter than that.
They're like
I
3
think they
feet.
top out at like 3
At
feet.
3 feet.
So let's
okay.
say you have the 3 foot from the bottom guy, and then the next, like 1.5 feet for the next.
So
they're
you're
like
6
6 feet
foot.
tall.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
they're,
like 6'6".
They're not small. They're like intimidatingly. They're adult-sized, like a tall adult. You know?
But a
So
very
they're like
like
a
It's more
slender man.
along the lines
Yes.
that like some eldritch being is wearing clothes
Yes.
and trying to pretend to be someone.
You can just tell.
and that's putting off your brain.
from
Off-putting,
where the
man.
legs pivot at the bottom of the cloak. You're like, wait a minute. What is between those legs and your arm? Like, what is going
This man
on?
is so tall, but he just glides on the floor
It
like he
reminds me-
takes itty bitty steps.
It reminds me of that meme of the sort of I'm not sure who exactly it is. It's a gentleman walking down the street with sagging pants and a very overly large shirt, and someone has drawn sort of a false X-ray vision.
Yeah.
A very long torso and tiny legs.
This would be so good for pickpocketing the guy on the bottom, just like tying people's shoes together.
You just reach out of the, like you said, the patch in the side of the coat and take people's wallets.
Yeah.
The capstone ability at 18th level, the one they call Steve.
No.
You call upon your buddy Steve to aid your journey. You are now 4 halflings in a trench coat. I would thus assume this retroactively means that your power of 6 arms would then become power of 8 arms.
But it doesn't say that.
No,
You
See,
must
I-
consider that it does, at least.
I am such a big fan of homebrews not always saying
Just not
the exact
explaining
mechanics.
anything.
You don't
Just
know what-
Steve is here now.
And it has to be Steve. It can't be anyone else.
Man, this is masterful. This
Yeah.
is so good.
So
This is
good.
a master class in homebrew.
I have this whole time been thinking about how I can bring this into a game I am DMing
Okay,
next week.
I do want to do a quick qualifier. This is a master class in homebrew. This is like almost illegibly unplayable.
Oh yeah.
This
Almost.
doesn't function.
Only
You would die
almost.
instantly.
But the imagination on display
Oh,
here
yeah.
and the commitment to a design is masterful. That's what I'm trying to say.
What I think and what I've been thinking this whole time,
Yes.
because I've been planning a session this week, is this is my favorite NPC.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very
Ooh.
good.
Like I'm not gonna have someone play this because goodness gracious.
You can take away most of the like player-oriented
right, but just
ability stuff.
use all that tasty flavor.
You could, I mean, like, basically they have to hire another fighter to come along with them, and they're like, you see a man, he glides across the floor. There is something
arms are so
ungodly
small.
about him.
His arms are moving out of sync with his legs. Like they're swinging, but almost performatively.
You don't know,
We're doing marching arms.
Yes.
you don't know what it is about him, but something about
he
him
continually-
causes you to quake.
As he's walking, pumping his little arms, he like keeps tipping and then suddenly righting himself.
Yeah, whenever he runs, the top half of him is just like swaying back and forth.
worried about the feet.
He goes to
move.
pick up a book off a low shelf, and his body curves like a giant giraffe.
Dude, if he tried to like crawl under something instead of like normal all fours proportions, it would be like a caterpillar. Like, scrambling.
No.
He would just like flop fully horizontal onto the ground.
It's
Oh my gosh.
worst.
Can we talk about the abs on the middle guy in this situation?
Must be, very much so, yeah.
He is
the core
cut.
strength, yes. The strength required here.
Well, I mean, everyone will have to be strong because
Yeah.
none of your dexterity matters.
Yeah,
Dude,
fair enough.
he's like the hinge. He's like the he's the bend in this situation.
No, yeah, no.
Consider, if you will, the trench coat that these three halflings are wearing are the trench coat of the unwelcome traveler we discussed a few episodes ago.
Oh, no!
And this being towering over your doorway leans down into your view from over your door frame and goes, "Would you like to invite me in?"
And because
Before
they
I
have
enter-
advantage on intimidation, you go,
Yeah.
yep.
Before I enter, would you please light a fire?
My gosh, it's cold outside. It's like the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Let me come in and warm my
There is a
bones.
chill in the air.
I do love, like, you're all getting ready to lie down, and then, you know, like, this being, their little legs go boom, and then they, like, weirdly curl back into their sleeping bag, and then everyone's like, aren't you gonna take your trench coat off? And they're like, no! I love this was my pappy's trench coat, and he made me vow I'll never take it off. And they're like, okay, yeah,
All right.
that's fine.
All right, man.
I love the idea of the commitment to the bit as well, though, where it's like the all is one. You fight, you live, you die together. Like that's the oath that you take with each other. Where it's like if the bottom halfling gets his leg stuck in a bear trap, the top two will not leave. Like they
Will not
are
help
stuck
him.
in that bear trap.
Man, this is the hardest I've laughed at a homebrew in a long time.
It's pretty great. I was enjoying reading. I felt like it was worth sharing here on the channel.
Well done, Sir Platinum.
Yes, Sir
Yeah,
Platinum,
Bravo.
thank you very much.
I definitely remember reading either a Reddit or a Tumblr or whatever, but online someone saying that they played 3 halflings in a trench coat, and that the DM had worked it out with them that whenever they got hit by someone, they would always ask where on their body it was. Until
Okay.
eventually one day it, like, killed one of
Dawned
the
on them.
halflings, and they, like,
Oh, no.
sank much shorter or something, and everyone was like, what?
That's so
It's-
good. I love
It's
it.
interesting to note, though, like, just purely mechanically, if you survive your first combat ever, you will never die.
Yeah, if you can make
Because
it,
you have disadvantage on everything dexterity based, including initiative rolls. If you are not immediately killed by the DM, then you kill everything in your path.
Dude, though, if you get betrayed by your party, let's say you go to do the split up and get 'em thing, and then someone in your party grabs each one of the halflings and holds them apart, what do you do? Do all of their brains rupture? Because it says, like, you have to go back into your form at the end of your turn. And so if you don't get to do that at the end of your turn, do all of their brains just, like, melt? And they're like, no! We are one
Release us,
person!
we are one. It's
Yeah.
very like eldritch. I don't like it very much. I do want to remind you all this is a subclass, and they also have all the regular fighter abilities
Right.
on top of this.
Yeah, like at level 11, I think they get 3 attacks per action. So then with this, they're attacking 9 times
times.
before using one of their 2 action surges.
I love
Wait,
it.
let's do this math once they have Steve.
Oh, no.
12.
Well, so
No,
once they have
it's fine.
Steve, I believe at level 20, so a level 20 way of the 4 halflings in a trench coat fighter.
Yes.
So they have 4 attacks because at level 20, that's like the capstone ability of the fighter.
Okay.
You get 4 attacks per action. So then each of those 4 is multiplied by 4 because of Steve.
Yeah, so
For
16
So
attacks.
it's 16 attacks per action.
For action. Yes.
Oh my
So when they
God.
action
So if someone casts haste on you and you action surge yourself,
When they action surge, so if you cast haste and you action surge, so action surge gives you another 16.
So 32 attacks.
So 32 attacks. However, haste will only give you 4 more attacks.
Yeah,
So
it doesn't-
36 attacks. Only 36 attacks.
Dang.
And at this point, you have multiple instances of action surges, so you can just do that on the next turn.
Wait a minute. Am I wielding an offhand weapon that I can use to make a bonus action attack?
Which would then grant you 4 more offhand attacks, I guess, technically.
So 40.
guys,
40 attacks. You just won to like turn kill everything.
If you can land your attack.
We have no dexterity.
We have no next.
I mean, this is just the concept of, like, how many citizen NPCs does it take to kill a
Tarrasque.
legendary blue dragon?
Yeah.
Right.
And this is just taken to the maximum extreme of, like, just
many
how
halflings
many
in a
raw
trench coat?
attacks does it take? How many halflings in a trench coat does it take to kill a blue dragon?
In
I
like-
do love the idea. Oh, sorry.
No,
go
you
ahead.
go, Bean. You go.
Oh, it's a little off topic, so I will
Mine
get
is
back to it.
a little as well, but it's slightly connected to what they just said. In Magic the Gathering, everything has like hit points and everything has attack points, but they're all very small because they like to keep the numbers tight. So some of the biggest creatures in the game, like Emrakul, which is like a intergalactic Cthulhu
Spaghetti monster god.
has like 20 hit points. So technically can be killed by 20 squirrels with 1 attack point each if they
Yeah.
all try hard enough. Like
It's that simulation of like 1,000 chickens versus a T-Rex.
Yeah.
That's so
Eventually,
good.
the chickens win.
Yep.
It is
so-
inevitable.
With Steve,
Yes.
I'm assuming that they just keep the same trench coat, which means that like the body proportions are extra wrong.
Yeah, that's where it starts
Because
getting
like
real weird.
suddenly the hem of the trench coat is higher up. You
No,
know.
I think that Steve probably brings with him like a hem.
Steve
a hem
always
for the trench coat.
he has a skirt
a skirt.
Yeah,
extends-
just-
wears.
Does Steve enter in at the bottom of the halflings in the trench coat, or does he now become the new face?
He's probably the
Perhaps-
new middle.
perhaps
because
what-
that's probably easier to add.
Maybe we could brew up some stats for like it's a modular system. If you want more movement speed, Steve has to go on the bottom of the stack. If you want
Oh my gosh!
a better
Then if you
charisma
switch,
check, he goes
if
on
you
the top.
switch
of the
around, that's so good though. Like
It's like a
one is for
Voltron
Sometimes your neighbor, your friend, your buddy, that very tall man just like has a different face and voice. And you're like, he did not look like that yesterday.
He was a ginger.
Well, and
yesterday.
when you're not paying attention, he shrinks down 3 feet, and then a bulge appears in his trench coat as his face is replaced by another man's face.
And like you could have sworn his name wasn't Steve the other day, but now it's Steve.
Some
so good.
people in this scenario would have assumed it was a different person, but you know better.
But you know,
That
that's
is
your friend.
So funny.
All right, we've got to wrap it up there, folks.
Wow.
I can't wait for you to all meet my next player character in my next game. I won't be playing Three Halflings in Trenchcoat. I'll be playing Steve.
A very tall man named Steve.
Yeah, I will be playing Jim, a human like you.
Yes, I have the normal length of
Steve,
limb.
who
Oh,
I
wait,
believe
wait,
is
guys,
7.5 feet
guys.
tall.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes or not?
We have forgotten the possibility, because once again, we established you can be any race, and it's just the halflings emulating that race.
Correct.
What if your race is halfling?
You're very tall for a halfling, really.
No, you're still small.
You have the
This
size.
does not
small.
change your
They're
size.
just
Change
really
your size.
okay. Here's what it is they're not on each other's shoulders.
They're
One
just-
is front piggybacking, and one is back piggybacking, and you're just really fat.
You're just a very wide
They
halfling.
roll to move.
You're very broad, yes. No,
Woof.
that's the worst.
It's just
'Cause
that
that's the thing. There isn't a thing saying you can't be a halfling.
oh man,
which
it's
Here's
just
the
that
idea.
Nutcracker dance where
So-
she's got all the people in her ball gown.
Perhaps the cloak is sort of like a bag of holding, and maybe it can have enough dimensional space to hold you in any shape you need to be for the race that you are. So
Oh, that's true.
There could be extra room in there, even though you only look like you're
I
3
don't
feet
know.
tall.
I like it being so terrible. Like,
that's
like there being a dragonborn and they just have like rubber like dragon claw hands and like a bad hat with like a dragon face on it. Like, yes, it's me.
Hello, I am your local dragonborn.
I could breathe fire, but I don't feel like it right now. But I could if I wanted to.
I could breathe lightning.
I don't
promise.
want to, just because you guys might get hurt.
No, they do breathe fire, and suddenly tiny hands with a lighter and a can of hairspray pop out. Like
Tiny halfling hands.
Just a taser in his mouth. Yeah, I'm breathing lightning. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I can't keep doing this anymore. Listeners, what do you think of the Fighter Archetype 3 Halflings in a Trenchcoat? Comment below with your ideas for how you would wrangle this kind of a player character in a game. Have you ever tried something absolutely mad like this in a game that you've been a part of? Let us know how that went. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel for future D&D Homebrew Discussion content. And until next time, keep on adventuring.